Hey students, this is lesson 735. The objective of this lesson is to solve problems by using these new methods we've learned for solving systems of equations. So basically we have to learn how to write a system of equations to represent a problem and then choose the most appropriate method for solving those. So let's start here. This one, the candy problem. We have a lot of information here. So let's take a look at it. Daniel bought 1 pound of jelly beans and 2 pounds of chocolates for $2. A week later, he bought 4 pounds of caramels and 1 pound of jelly beans, paying $3. The next week, he bought 3 pounds of licorice, 1 pound of jelly beans, and 1 pound of caramels for $1.50. How much would he have to pay on his next trip to the candy store if he bought 1 pound of each of the 4 kinds of candy? So, what are the unknowns in this problem? How many are there? Assign a variable to represent each unknown. The unknowns are, how much does it cost for jelly beans? Let's call that A. Chocolates, B. Caramels, call that C. And licorice, we'll call that D. So, we're going to assign A to jelly beans, B to chocolates, C to caramels, and D to licorice. That's the cost of 1 pound of each of those. So, then it says write an equation based on the information using the variables you chose. Write equations. And the equations we have are, I'll just give you an example of one of them. A, 1 pound of jelly beans plus 2 pounds of chocolate. So if we take 2 times the cost per pound of chocolate, that Daniel spent $2 on. So there's one equation. And there's 2 more equations given in this problem. Then it says, what is the question asking you? Find, express this both as a sentence and as a mathematical. We want to know how much the cost would be of 1 pound of each. Of 1 pound of each. So basically what we're saying is if we buy 1 pound of jelly beans, 1 pound of, what would be, chocolates, 1 pound of caramels, 1 pound of licorice, what would that cost? So let's say that's our question mark. So we're wondering what A plus B plus C plus D is. Now if we knew individually what each of those are, that would help. But basically, you're given 3 different ways of knowing the price, and you need to find out the price of one of each. I'm going to leave this problem for you to figure out. It is going to be the problem of the week. So, and I'm also going to give you, let you have extra credit if you do get this problem. So, but let's do a couple other problems here. Let's do this one, the sushi restaurant problem. So this restaurant offers the following combination platters. You can get 1 Philadelphia roll and 1 dragon roll for $8.35, or 3 Philadelphia rolls and 2 dragon rolls for $19.55. It says write a system of linear equations that describes this. So let's let the cost of a Philadelphia roll be X and a dragon roll be Y. And then we get, and I'm going to write these down here, X plus Y, 1 Philadelphia, 1X plus 1Y is equal to 835. And 3X plus 2Y is equal to 1955. All right, then you have to figure out, well, what's the most appropriate method here? There's actually 2 methods that would work fairly well. You could use substitution. It actually says use substitution. You can ignore that if you want. I don't really care at this point what method you use. I would probably use elimination method on this. So I'm going to use elimination. I think it works better for this one. And you can make that choice yourself. But like if I were to triple this first order here, 1 Philadelphia, then I'd have 3x plus 3y equals 835. Then I could eliminate by subtracting. So I think I'm going to do it that way. And if you like to eliminate by adding, then you could just multiply this top equation by -3. So we're going to multiply both sides by -3. And I'll put that down here. So we get -3x plus -3y equals 835 times -3 is -2505, I believe. I'm going to check that quick. Okay, now I'm going to add those two together, so I get -1y is equal to, that would be -25 plus 1955 equals $5 and -550, and -550 divided by 1 is equal to +550. So we just found that one dragon roll costs $5.50. Now to find the other price of the Philadelphia roll, we'll just use this equation. We know if we buy one of each, it's $8.35, and we know that it's $5.50 for one dragon roll. So all I need to do is subtract $5.50 from $8.35, and I get x is equal to $2.85. So we now know that the price of one Philadelphia roll is $2.85, and the price of one dragon roll is $5.50. All right, that's the idea there. Let's try one more. I think I'm going to go and do this one with you. Right here. Jack and Jill both mow lawns on weekends. Jill bought a new mower this year and determined that his profit equation for mowing lawns this year is P for profit equals 15 times N, which is the number of lawns he mows, minus 300, where P is the total profit, and N is the number of lawns he has mowed. Jill has bought a new mower this year and determined her profit equation, and hers is P equals 20 times N minus 450. Interpret the meaning of the -300 and the -450. Well, it's a minus, so that would be a cost because it's taking away from profit. So think about that. What might cost 300 for one person and 450 for the other? And you probably figured out that it's the cost of the mower, the original cost of mowing. Okay? The other thing you might think about is why is the slope of each of these equations 15 and 20? So for every lawn they mow, one goes up by 15, the other goes up by 20, which means, and since we're talking about profit, that's how much they get for mowing a lawn. Jack gets $15 per lawn, Jill gets $20 per lawn. Now this says solve the system of profit equation. What does this point mean? So we have two equations, and 20n minus 450. So since they're both equal to P, we're going to use substitution and say 20n minus 450 is equal to 15n minus 300. We're going to solve that. Let's subtract 15n from both sides. Then we get 5n minus 450 is equal to -300. Then we will add 450 to both sides. And we get 5n is equal to 150 divided by 5, and we get n is equal to 30. Now let's think about what that means. So n is 30, and what that means is 30, since I set these equal, they will both be making the same profit at 30 lawns. And think about that. Jill gets more per lawn, so if each of them mow more than 30 lawns, then Jill will start to make more money. And if each of them mow less than 30 lawns, then Jack will. So Jack bought a cheaper mower, and his idea of buying a cheaper mower will work out for him as long as he mows as long as they mow less than 30 lawns. Where Jill's idea will profit more if they mow more than 30 lawns. So that's the idea there. All right, that's it for this lesson. I'll see you tomorrow.